Hello everyone, my name is Mai Her. I go shortly by Mai. I am a senior at Metropolitan State University majoring in business administration. This is my last semester of college and I'll be graduating in December. And I work as a youth outreach coordinator here at Metropolitan State. And today we will be talking about accounting career pathway. And what exactly is accounting career pathway, or what is a career pathway in general? We will deep dive into this, and by the end of this presentation, I hope that you will take something out of this and apply it to your interest or your real life. Okay, let's get started. So, what is career pathway, right? Career pathway career pathways are occupations within a career cluster that share similar skills, knowledge, and interest. And it may be a little confusing right now, but once I started talking about accounting career pathway, it will provide a better or a better vision of what is a career pathway. So the lesson plan for today is that we will be discussing importance of career pathways, introduction to accounting career pathways, and an activity at the end for you all to enjoy. So why are career pathways important? They are important because they help individuals to acquire knowledge and skills that link to a specific program in higher education, which eventually will lead to a degree or a career. And this doesn't necessarily have to be just higher education, but it can also be like a certificate as well. For instance, like right now I'm studying business administration, and that is my like career pathway. Like with business administration, I will be getting a degree in Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, and that's basically my career pathway. And then it's important because it turns an interest into a variety of career. I like to help people. I like to like work on a desk, and I like to be the go-to person. So doing studying business administration allowed me to be learn about management, human resources, and admin assistant, and that's all what I wanted to do. And I believe that the sooner you know your interests or your career pathway, the better it is. Because the younger you know about it or you know your interests, the better, or I guess the longer you can plan for your career pathway. And however, if you do not know what your interests are or you do not know what your career pathway is, that is totally fine too. When I first started college, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I changed my major like 3 times. And so it's perfectly okay to not know what you want right now. And it's even better if you know right now. So we're going to deep dive into accounting. So introduction to accounting. I won't be talking that specific of accounting when it comes to equations and like big definitions, all that, but I'll just give you like the very brief um definitions of accountant and accountant, and then we'll be watching a video to just kind of let you all know what is accounting. So the definition of accounting. Accounting is a process used by business to record revenue and income in a book called ledger. So these days they don't use a book anymore. It's more about putting in the computers and making sure that you make enough revenue to cover your expense and all of that. And for instance, like McDonald's, how much like the process of accounting is to making sure that McDonald's earn enough revenue and income to cover their rent expense, their electricity expense, and their like parking expense or advertisement expense and stuff like that. And an accountant is someone that do the recording and make sure there is no mistake. So accounting is the process, and accountant is the person that conduct the process. And in the next few slides, I'll also be mentioning auditor. So an auditor is someone that is hired from outside the company to make sure that the accountant is doing its job. And then we'll be watching the video to make sure that you will understand what an accountant is.
Welcome to Educounting, where we're passionate about financial education. Today's video is an accounting overview and is the first video in our introductory accounting course. Accounting covers a lot of ground, but it's primarily the recording of information. First, you have to recognize a financial transaction, then record it, and lastly, report on it. Many people use accounting information. They can be divided into two groups. Internal users are those within a company who use the information to make decisions to run the business. External users are those outside the company, like investors and creditors. There are basic rules for accounting, and we refer to those rules as GAAP, or Generally Accepted Accounting Principles. The basic accounting equation was developed by Da Vinci's tutor named Pacioli, and explains double entry accounting where assets are equal to liabilities plus equity. When transactions are recorded, they affect the accounting equation, but it must always stay in balance. The four main financial statements are the income statement, the balance sheet, the statement of cash flows, and the statement of retained earnings. The income statement shows how much income was left after you subtract expenses from your sales. The balance sheet accounts for all of the assets and how they were obtained. Was it from taking out loans, selling ownership, or using earnings to buy things? The statement of cash flows shows how money moves through the company. It gives insights into whether the company collects money from customers, how it pays its debts, and where it invests. The statement of retained earnings tracks the amount of earnings the company keeps. It starts with beginning retained earnings, adds income, and subtracts dividends. Thanks for being here. Here's to making better decisions through better data and better education.
All right, I hope that helps you all to have a better understanding of what accounting is. All right, and moving on, we will be talking about what's next here. This is the part that I'm most excited about because it's about accounting career pathway and what you can do with accountant. You can be a public accountant, you can be management accountant, governmental accountant, or an internal auditor. And these are just 4 examples that I listed out. There are so many other career fields that you can go into if you want to pursue accounting as a major. First, let's look at public accountant. Public accounting serves clients such as corporations, governments, and individuals. Provide a broad service of accounting, auditing, tax, and consulting. Education level, bachelor's degree. So public accountant is someone that just kind of like do all the um they're just a public accountant that works on different fields and that are willing to provide services to anybody, and they're not just working within one organization or one company. And next, we have management accountant. Management accountant is an accountant that works in one specific organization or company. It provides a service of recording and analyzing financial information for the clients they work for. So if they work for the company, they're like basically in charge of like that company's or that business transactions, their income, and their expense, and making sure that all the numbers are correct, are balanced. An education requirement is bachelor's degree and certified public accounting assistant. Public accountant, not assistant, CPA. And then we have governmental accountant, who is someone that works for the government, record and audit government agencies, private businesses, and individuals that are affected by government regulations or taxation. And likewise, education level is bachelor's degree. And lastly, we have internal auditor. If you guys remember correctly, I talked about auditor earlier and what auditor do, and that's why I have like the little icon with the eyes, like they're checking for fraud. So they check for risk management of an organization or business's funds. They identify ways to improve the process for funding and eliminating waste and fraud. And education is also a bachelor's degree and CPA. And what is more, right? So why accounting? Why of every other pathway I have to choose accounting? Well, it's important because we use accounting on a daily basis. People use accounting all the time. For example, I get paid on the 1st, but my phone bill is due on the 15th. So I have to make sure I have enough money to cover the expense. That is like the gist of accounting. And the job growth for accountants and auditors increased by 60% since 2010. That means that this field is currently growing. Many consider accounting as a language of business and a versatile area to study in higher education. It's considered a language of business because almost every single businesses file taxes, right? And who do taxes? Accountant does the taxes. And it's a versatile area to study because you can study accountant and take that skills with you and go anywhere with it, and it will be the same thing. So what are some courses that some students can take or should take if they want to major in accounting? So these courses are higher education courses or college courses that I took directly from Metropolitan State University's website. For the accounting major, you need basic accounting, math, college and algebra, and statistics, micro and macroeconomics, intermediate accounting, cost accounting, I just took that, advanced accounting, and auditing. But what are the pros and cons, right? So the pros are that it's a straightforward career path. Like I said earlier, wherever you study, it's what you will be doing in your career field. And like I said earlier too, it's a growth in the job field and there are potential professional growth. You can you can work as an entry level accountant clerk and move your way up to be a manager accountant. But some of the cons are that it's a continuous education journey. This means that accountant will continuously have to go back to school or have to learn about accounting as technology advances. And it is busy during tax season and the work hours can be long. And sometimes it can also be stressful when you're handling with financial issues or financial big money or like lots of money within a company or businesses that are worth billions and millions of dollars. All right, and that concluded my presentation on career pathway and accounting career pathway. And this is what your activity will look like. You will define the word that I put in here. It's on the presentations. And there's some multiple choice questions that you could do. It's just kind of like a refresher to make sure that you understand what is being presented to you today. And thank you so much for watching this. Have a good one and bye bye.